Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome to this special session that would shed light into the Qatari sports tech scene. Each year, Qatar joins a host of countries from across the globe to celebrate the Global Entrepreneurship Week by holding Rawad, the entrepreneurship conference that has become a dynamic platform where the brightest entrepreneurs, renowned business leaders, and key industry stakeholders gather to discuss best practices, share knowledge, and highlight trending topics on the future of the SME ecosystem. Tonight's panelists will discuss key topics around the role of technology innovation within the athlete, the team, and the ecosystem as a whole. Please allow me to introduce our esteemed guests who will give us a look towards 2022 and Qatar sports tech space. Ahmed Abbasi, the Executive Director of Competition and Football Development in Qatar Stars League. Welcome, Ahmed. Afra Al-Ni'aimi, the Executive Director of Jasur Institute. We're glad to have you, Afra. And Professor Nebojša Popović, the Senior Orthopedic Surgeon at Aspetar. Welcome, Dr. Popović. My name is Heba Al-Masri, and I'm the Managing Director at Qatar Sports Tech, and I welcome you once again to the evening's discussion. We will start a discussion with Mr. Ahmed. Mr. Ahmed, can you take us through of what is the role of technology in enhancing the football experience for the teams and the fans?
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الصلاة والسلام على سيد الأنبياء والمرسلين. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. Thank you very much for inviting me to this amazing event and this amazing panel. We are awaiting very, very exciting times in the future, in the near future. And especially now with the COVID-19 situation, taking the bright side out of this crisis, we have seen an accelerated digital transformation all over the world across all industries. And football is no exception in that. So the purpose of technology is to make our lives easier. And this goes the same for football, for sports in general, but especially now talking about football. And it has changed the industry immensely in the past couple of years. And now, for example, probably the most popular and controversial example is the VAR, which is the video assistant referee. So basically now we have technology even interfering into the game. It makes us quicker, faster, stronger, and gives us a competitive advantage over the opponent so that we can know our players better, know our weaknesses, and also, of course, the weaknesses of the opponent, so that we can have a fraction of a second of an advantage where we can score a goal and win it. So we're looking forward to an amazing future with faster football, quicker football, and that through and with the help of technology and innovation.
Yes, I think that we're all looking forward to the same. Dr. Popović, can you take us through of how the technology improves the athletes' performance, as well as reducing the risk of injury?
Good evening. Thank you very much for the invitation. In recent years, the number of startups specializing in area of athletic performance, analytics, and artificial intelligence has proliferated, contributing to rapid growth across the sports tech sector. I'm going to take only one example of coaching platforms, rising motion sensor captures to guide and to correct individual workout. What this technology gives us, when we have published in medicine lots of study about the prevention of sports injury, because that's very costly, that's a very big problem for the athletes, and because today we are always demanding more and more, and we are looking everywhere to find some solution that can prevent injury. This new technology gives us possibility to analyze their movement, to correct their technical errors, And that is one of the the biggest cause of injury, and especially of overuse injury.
Thank you, Dr. Popovic. Afra, what is the role of technology in creating an overall look of talent pool within Qatar to deliver the World Cup 2022 and the global events as a whole?
Thank you, Heba, for having me among your distinguished guests. As Ahmed Abbasi, for example, mentioned, currently we're witnessing the immediate shift to e-platform in different industries and different offerings and services. When it comes to Jusur, we previously used to have mixed approach to deliver our programs, both online and offline methods. And post-pandemic, we shifted all our offerings to online. Of course, having online programs will give us more accessibility to world-class speakers and leaders that will enhance the quality of our programs and content. But also, statistics showed that we have increased number of female participation in sports and events programs. Also, increased number of program completion, both in the event and sports educational offerings with Jusur. And all increase of number of talents that joining the sports and event industry.
So on that note, Ahmed, if you will look into the QSL specifically, what are the existing technology now being used and to enhance specifically the fan experience and how it's going to help improve the quality of sports moving forward?
We have been one of the first believers in football innovation and football technology. So we have invested more than a decade ago in this field, and with a great success. For example, in analysis, which is a big part of football technology and innovation, we have tracked the statistics of our players, and we have data, backdated over a decade, which gives us the opportunity to analyze as a league the development of our players, our weaknesses, where we can improve, how we can improve it, together with our experts and analysts. At the same time, we give the opportunity to the coaches to study the players in a better way on a day-to-day basis. So it means in the training, but also during the matches, so that they know how the player is, what his condition is at the moment, how he can improve him, what the weaknesses are, but also, as Dr. Popovic said earlier, to prevent any injury, the coach can detect a player who has a high risk of getting injured at a certain point. But of course, all this technology has developed very rapidly in the past 10 years. So now, when it comes to analysis, it's live analysis, which means during the match, for example, and this is one of the technologies that we use in QSL for our local league, is live analysis. What is live analysis? Live analysis is a technology, an analysis technology, which gives the opportunity for the coach to receive live feeds from his analysts who are behind the bench with the statistics, as I said, live, to take instant decisions during the match, which can be tactical, but which can be also preventing any injuries. It helps the coach to take the decision based on the situations and the actual changes that are happening during the match, rather than waiting for the halftime or an analysis after the match to prepare the next one. So this is a huge shift in the industry. Another big step in the industry is training analysis, which a lot of coaches are very much concentrated and focusing on. Which means the training session is recorded, and there is a special analyst who is communicating with the rest of the technical staff to change around during the training to prepare the match even in a better way. So all of this helps the coach to enhance the performance of the team, but it is only possible if thanks to Afra and her team, it's to enhance the capability of people who have the knowledge in technology and innovation, and only this way, more and more people get to understand the new innovation, get to understand the new technologies, because as I said in the beginning, technology and innovation that's just a tool if you don't know how to use it, if you don't know how to make use of it. Another example, and we were also one of the pioneers in applying all our matches with the VAR, which is the video assistant referee, and this is also something which has revolutionized the football. It's more fair. So whenever there is something that the referee needs to take a decision on, it is more accurate. So you know that there's nothing that goes through with you cannot lose a match because of a mistake of a referee. And we believed in this technology from the beginning, and it's very important for organizations who want to play a big role in the future to believe and invest in technology and innovation from an early stage in order to be one of the first. Because if you don't do that, technology and innovation will develop and grow faster than you can grow if you don't invest in it. So we are very proud to be pioneers in that.
Yes, and indeed, I think Qatar as a whole are pioneers in innovation, and it's great to see that QSL in specific is moving forward in that direction and in adopting this technology from around the world. Now, to take a closer look into rather than the team and the club as a whole, Dr. Popovic, can you get us into the athlete themselves, and what are some of the latest techs that are using within the health and the rehabilitation centers?
I agree completely what was said before, and you have to know that medical part, especially, they are pretty conservative, and they accept very difficult new technology. Understand that's typically for this for the medicine, but having the opportunity to work and to live in Qatar, and this whole organization of World Championship in football completely changed our approach. And Aspire, where I'm working last 6-7 years, as well, is heavily invested in new performance center, in new technology, and that's only one part of that complete Qatar nation approach, and we was lucky to be there. And what happened? There was locking of COVID-19, and we have to start to very quickly to utilize this new technology and their possibility. And okay, you are going. You have to know that surgery stayed the same in operating theater, but everything else have changed. You can have now your physical treatment at your home, and that you have to utilize new technology. You have to have your first clinic appointment utilizing new technology from your home to be connected with us. And really, that is now we find ourselves in changing moment of maybe history of sports medicine, and we are conscious that we have to integrate all this possibility of new technology, or other side you are going to stay the loser.
Yes, it is no doubt that the health industry as well as the sports industry has been affected with COVID very recently, and now to put the two together, there's been challenges, but Absolutely. Qatar is the one place that is moving forward and adopting things very easily. Afra, can you take us through a look of Qatar as a whole? How can Qatar leverage the technology to achieve the vision of being a global sports hub and to continue innovation in the sporting events industry within Qatar?
As we are about to host the first MENA and Arab World Cup in Qatar, I think it gives us put us in a position to be, as my colleague Ahmed said, a pioneer in hosting and creating or using the technology and innovation, not only in the delivery, but also in the preparation of hosting such an event. So if you see the focus that Qatar is now focusing on is the legacy, whether it's the hard legacy or the soft legacy. The soft legacy includes the technology that is used in the preparation of the hosting country, and also the technology used in upscaling human capital, making sure that they are capable of managing the innovation and the technological tools that we have in the sports and event industry, and also in the actual delivery of the event. And when it comes to Jusur Institute, we use different technologies to deliver our programs. Whether in the customized programs that are designed for the executive and leaders to deliver the actual tournament, such as, for example, the tabletop that is based on scenario decision-making process, and other technology that we are using not only to create a pool of talent, but also to further develop the industry of sport and event in Qatar and the MENA region.
Yeah, we'd love to hear more about your Jusur and all the programs that you have in the following question. Ahmed, if you can just take us now through the sports industry. It's gaining momentum and it's growing rapidly. How can the global sports scene contribute to Qatar's evolving sports industry?
We promised the world the amazing, and we are sure to deliver that. And this became our culture in football, but also out of football. So generally, this is a general culture in the society that we have very, very high standards of delivery. And a major driver in this is technology and innovation. This has gained momentum. As I said earlier, through the COVID crisis, it has accelerated. Obviously, we need more innovation. We need more technology to adapt to a new future, where everything is faster, everything is stronger, and everybody is just looking for how to become better and grow faster. And this is the only way to do that is through knowledge and innovation and technology. So these standards help us to gain the momentum, to gain the objectives. But what is after 2022? For us, 2022 is a catalyst. It's a big objective. We are going to deliver the amazing, but it helps us to create a future beyond 2022 through innovation and technology, which is even better than 2022. So technology and innovation is a constant driver, which will create a faster future, a stronger future in football. We believe that the 5G technology will open up a lot of opportunities for new innovations and technologies, and it's a world that we cannot imagine today how it will look like in a couple of years from now. But it's certainly something exciting to see all these development, and we support any project that that is eager to create this beautiful future.
Yes, as I always say, that the 2022 is only the beginning in Qatar. I'm sure there's plenty more, and this is just the kickoff. It's just kicking off with a bang. Dr. Popovic, the sports tech industry, and more specifically the health and medtech industries, have grown rapidly in Qatar and globally. What technologies do you see today that didn't exist 5 years ago, and how easy was it to implement and adopt these?
First of all, I would like to repeat, Ahmed, that 22 World Championship is only going to largely open the door for all possibility of development and the progression of this new technology. And I would like also to remind you that sport global technic market only in the United States a few years ago was $9 billion of US dollar, with the expectation to triple in few years. And that is a fantastic opportunity. Qatar is the place to be for the young people with all these innovative ideas. Infrastructure, we have it lots of them. I'm focusing more in my enterprise, Aspire and Aspetar, where I am working. We have performance center and so on with things that for me as a surgeon is sometimes difficult to understand. And I would like to say that the young people go forward. Everything have changed, and especially in the future, sometimes in the medicine, we need 10 to 15 years to progress. Now that's going to be progress each 6 months, and that's going to go forward so quickly. And young people who are involved in this innovation, you have to push it. And what is going to be like in 5 or 10 years, it's very, very difficult to say, you understand? You have to have lots of imagination to see it, you understand? But nothing is going to be as it was before. Concerning sports, medicine, and all this introduction of new technology. And the reality for the good of the athletes and the patient, of course.
Yes. But going back to the point of many new technologies and innovation coming through, is it easy to adopt this technology? Or do you find any challenges and adopting it into your day-to-day activity?
In the medicine, very difficult, you understand, very difficult. Why? Because you imagine, you take me being 40-year surgeons and doing something that is working, that now I have to introduce something completely new, that maybe my generation don't understand very well. Okay, I was in last 5-6 years looking what's happening. I was on this different meeting in the United States, and I was lucky that I was sent by my enterprise, and I'm a little bit the guy who is pushing it, you understand? But that is going to completely change our approach for the sports, you understand? For example, I'm going to give you an example, very easy to understand. 4 or 5 years, when we was discussing or when we was reading in the newspaper in the Western country about organization of World Championship in Qatar 22, Qatar is a small country and so on. How they are not going to build a big stadium because there is not enough people. But today you see the football we play without spectators, you understand? That means all this new technology, television transmission by iPhone and so on, have completely changed our approach to the big events. You understand? And that means, as I was always talking, there is going to be in football, in history of football or organization of World Championship, there was organization of World Championship till 22 in Qatar and after 22 in Qatar. That is going to be breaking point in completely different approach to organization of these big sports events. And that is going to really, Qatar and I was working here in last 15 years. We have worked on the project and step by step and introducing all the innovation, connecting ourselves with everybody outside of Qatar, and we build really nice knowledge experience. That is our treasure, and I'm very positive with the future.
Yes. Yeah, and I think the one institute that is helping here locally in the ecosystem is, of course, Jasur. Afra, can you tell us what are the role that Jasur is playing and how are they preparing for sports and sports tech ecosystem within the 2030 national vision?
So, as you know, Jasur Institute is the education and training arm of the Supreme Committee for Delivery and Legacy, and we address the different needs that we have, whether domestically or regionally, in the sports and event industry. So we have different offerings, whether it's education or training, and even research and insight. But as my colleague said, what happened with the pandemic and the complete shift to online platform, I think it's also fast forward the adaptation of using the system. Previously, again, coming from the academic background or sector, there was a hesitation of signing up into an educational program based on online. But now you see people more open to undertake such a programs. The other thing we saw also more welcoming from the organization level to utilize more of the technological offerings and setups to share the knowledge. So it's not no longer physical or offline training that is used to upskill human capital in Qatar. And of course, whatever training that we're creating now is only the beginning for a longer journey to further develop both in Qatar and regionally.
With COVID, did you see that your platform was at any time disturbed and then had to restart? Did you stop progressing within Jasur? And can you take us through that journey of what you experienced in the past few months?
Before the pandemic, as I said, we used to have both methods in delivering our programs, the offline and online. And I remember the first case of coronavirus. One of our strategic partner highlight the risk of having this going bigger than China and Qatar and our partners internationally, that we need to react fast and adapting to the shift. And here I want to acknowledge my team and also our academic partner, Bikuni University, for overseeing the risk, and also for the delegates for being open and committing to continue their education journey. So as a team, we had to shift all our offerings. Again, we have different setup of offerings, whether the long educational programs or the short workshops and network activities, etc. So to complete the transformation of all programs, we would require some time, but the team put on a lot of works to make sure that this happened in a very tight framework. And at the same time, we were doing the training to all our delegates and participants to make sure that they're comfortable in using the programs. And also our partners, the local partners, whether Qatar, Aspire, or QSL and QFA, they were very adaptive to the change, and they support the delegates or the people coming from the organization to take this journey into the online programs.
Yes, the whole world did a shift of education, whether it's homeschooling or institutes such as ourselves. It has been very challenging. Ahmed, can you take us through the challenges that you saw amidst COVID? I'm sure this was, one of the most challenging periods of your career. And how did you overcome this?
I think COVID. We all agree that the COVID crisis is probably the most difficult time that we have ever experienced, and inshallah, hopefully, this will be the most difficult ever. So we will not have to experience this again. But we try to look at the bright side and see what we can learn from this period. And we have definitely learned how to optimize a lot of operations within the organization. However, of course, dealing with the coaches, the players, the clubs, it was very interesting, to be honest, because I think we grew closer together, being transparent from day one, highlighting that their safety was our utmost priority. However, always keeping in mind our objectives, our foundations, and our fundamental interest of our common interest of the club's players and coaches and the league and the federation, to maintain the professional level after the crisis. So we always had hope, of course, that this would take a period of time, but it would be over at some point. So I remember back in March we had a very strong meeting with the clubs. A very important one where we were very transparent, and we told them that we would be able to, or we are going to take any necessary action and decision to maintain their safety, and this is what we did when we had to freeze all the activities. However, during that time where there was no team training and no competition, through technology and innovation, actually, we could monitor the training and the physical condition of the players. First of all, to make sure that everybody is training individually, because one day we're going to get back to training and matches, and we need everybody to be at the highest possible level. And secondly, to plan ahead, to be able to plan when we can resume training and when we can resume playing competitive matches through the data that we collected with the GPS system, which the players used every day in their training. And if we compare, and I think Dr. Popovic can confirm this, we were one of the first leagues to resume training and competitive matches. But we studied before taking the decision how long we would need to keep the teams training before we start our league, and in what frequency we could play our league matches in order to avoid any injuries. And if you see in many major leagues in Europe, there was a phenomenon this year of an increase in especially hamstring injuries. However, in our case, we did not have this case because we've prevented this by giving enough time to the teams and to the players to prepare, because we could see in the through the data how prepared they are and what exactly they need to be able to compete again at the highest level. So if there is one thing that we've learned in these difficult times, it's to be adaptive. And I would like to take the opportunity today to thank all the people on the front line who made it possible for us to survive and to be there. And some of them survived and some of them didn't. It was a difficult time for the whole world. A lot of people suffered mentally. A lot of people suffered physically. Many people died. But the people on the front line showed us what the priorities are for the world, and it's not always football. And this was an important lesson for our players, which we communicated to them. It's football is so important, and you are followed by millions of people, and you have good salaries. But when it comes to life, doctors, nurses, the people on the front line, those are our real heroes, our real stars. And I think this has created a shift in the mentality, I think, across the world when it comes to football players themselves. And I really hope that they learned this lesson. But also, football and sports fanatics. It's not a matter of life and death. It's just football. When it comes to life and death, this crisis has shown us who the real stars are and who the real heroes are.
That's very absolutely true, Ahmed. I appreciate those words, and we definitely did see a lot of soldiers coming through the health industry and stepping up in the front lines. Dr. Popovic, what can you tell us about what role Qatar played to ensure that QSL is one of the first clubs in the world to get back up and started again?
First of all, Ahmed, thank you very much for the kind words for all these to say it. Thanks all our nurses in Qatar and nurses around the world. With the doctor there was these nurses always in the front line. I agree with you. And what is most important to have a transparency. You understand? And if you have transparency, if you have honest information for population and clear guidelines, everything is going to function. For that reason, this pandemic was easy in Qatar, comparing with lots of other countries in the world, function very nicely, very smooth, and that's really in medicine example how a country should manage this any pandemic. Concerning football, of course, we was asking ourselves the question, what is going to happen when the players is going to take once again the training? There was going to be lots of enthusiasm to come back, and results are injury. As Ahmed mentioned, in football player that's hamstring injury, and after he's going to be lost for 6 weeks or 3 months. And we, in collaboration by our NSAP program and all our staff in the clubs, working with them, we have developed this progressive approach to coming back, because a few weeks later with the presence doesn't matter, you understand, because if injury starts after, they are going to be out 6 months, 3 months, and after, and we are pretty proud how we manage it and how we introduce these football competitions in Qatar. And now is this new tournament who is organized, who starts, and we are very enthusiastic, like everybody, to go forward.
Yes, enthusiastic is the right word, and the most thing people are enthusiastic about is, of course, the World Cup here being in Qatar. Afra, can you take us through? We have many people within the sports tech scene that are wanting to come and be involved in the World Cup in any way possible. What advice would you give them, and what would you tell to these startups that are looking to enter the Qatari market? What is the best approach for them to be able to get involved?
First of all, to understand the market needs. as my colleague mentioned, we're about to host the first World Cup, and the World Cup is a large-scale event. And we have different aspects or requirements to support delivering the event. So I encourage all talents or all entrepreneurs to first study what is required, and from that build their offerings or services around that. And second of all, to be competitive to the other service providers in the market. And to be able to do that, I think is the key foundation is to have the right education and knowledge of the market and of the industry of sports.
From your experience, is there somewhere specific where people can come and be able to find this information within the Qatari market? Is there any kind of institute or platform where people can be able to achieve this information that they're looking for?
So Jusur Institute did a tracker research, basically to understand where are we at in the sports and event industry in Qatar and the MENA region. In this research, we highlight the area of improvement, I would say. And I think this insight or this research can be the right go-to document to understand the industries and then understand the areas that we need to further develop locally in Qatar.
Ahmed, I would like to ask you the same question. There's many people that are hoping to get into Qatar as a whole, and of course Qatar Stars League. So what advice do you give them and when they approach you with new technology that they won't want to see?
I fully agree with my colleague, Ms. Afra. Knowing the market, the context of the country, the background is fundamental. Another advice that I have is you need to have the right purpose of your innovation. So we receive a lot of proposals or innovations where the purpose is let's say weak. So if, for example, in football innovation and football analysis, if your innovation is only there to give me numbers and I can't make use of the numbers to win the game, then you're starting off wrong. If you give me numbers that nobody else can give me, and because of these numbers I can win a match, then you're on track. So the purpose of the innovation, I think, is fundamental. And it has to make a competitive advantage. It has to bring an added value to whoever is using this technology, and it has to be something that creates a win-win situation for everyone. So it's sometimes it sounds easier than it is. The purpose has to be a strong driver of the innovation to bring the person using it way forward. Because at the end of the day, we are in an industry which is all about winning. So if you can't make the club or the team win, then you need either to change your idea or you need to change the industry.
So the end point with that is, how can we win, and how can your technology help us win? Is that right, Ahmed?
Correct. Of course, within the industry there are many sectors. So when it comes to security, for example, it's not really about scoring goals, but it's more about detecting maybe hooligans. When it comes to the medical sector, in football, it's about preventing injuries. When it comes to spectator services, it's not. When I say winning, it's about the purpose. It's the concept of creating value rather than only scoring goal. It depends really on the target of the innovation itself. But the concept is, you have to make me win. If it's about selling sandwiches for the spectators, if it's to detect hooligans, prevent injuries, all of those are wins, are important wins. and those can be achieved through innovation and technology, which we have seen in the past decade with a very rapid growth, and it will grow very rapidly in the future. Again, 5G is going to change a lot of things. And I believe Dr. Popovich would be very happy to have this technology where a surgeon in the US can undertake a surgery of a player who is in Doha. So this opens a lot of opportunities also for startups. To think not you have to start imagining how the future is going to be, and not imagining how your innovation will help me today. But if it's about in 2 years, in 3 years, where internet is going to be faster, for example, and I can have an analyst who is a football coach from let's say Spain, who can help me as a coach analyze my match, because of this new future with the technology and innovation, then this is something that creates value for all the parties concerned. And I think this is a very important distinction between a successful innovation and a not so successful innovation. You have to start with imagining a future where your innovation can add some kind of value of winning. And again, when I say winning, it's not only about the 3 points and the goals, but it's also off the pitch.
You bring an important topic in regards to medical and being able to operate or remote healthcare. Now, this is really a sensitive topic because at this point you're playing with people's lives and people's health, so you're always hesitant to adopt new technology. And as Dr. Popovich mentioned, it is also very difficult because the people that in the industry have been doing the same thing for so long that it's very difficult to come in and be able to adopt new tech. So on that note, Dr. Popovich, what is some advice that you can give when people are looking into enter the sports med market?
What advice I could give? When you are writing a scientific paper, always they are asking you 3 or 4 keywords. And what are keywords? Analytics, artificial intelligence, new technique. That is something who is going to be decisive. That means the young people who decide to do the study of medicine, these things have to be part of their formation. Without that, they are going to be lost in the future because the changes are so enormous that is going to be in nearly future. Some specialization that we have, that we know, like radiology, for example. In the United States, they don't advise to young people to do this specialty because artificial intelligence is going to replace this specialty. Do you imagine that? And that was till last 7-8 years before the most demanding specialty. Lots of other specialty in medicine is going to be non-existent. New one is going to be introduced. I agree with Ahmed that is going to be possible to operate it from New York, the patient in Doha, or from Doha, somebody in New York. That is possible today. There is also cost effectiveness in medicine that is very important. And that's going to be a very exciting time in the next few years. I hope that we in Aspire and in Aspetar that we are ready to these changes. These changes is also for changes in enterprise, changes in organization of enterprise. That's that can't go only because there's new technology that demands changing completely approach organization. Today we talk about this flexible, functional type of organization. That's very difficult in medicine because that's a structural organization. We have to adapt this organization like Apple. They have it, and that's going to be. But people have to be ready and to be ready to accept all these changes, who are going to be so quick. You understand? And that's for the good of the human being. And but still, we don't forget that all this system of this new technology, analytics, and pause on the data that we have to put in the system, and after we can have the good recommendation, and but that's exciting time. And finally, what I would like, because I am involved in past 25 years in sports medicine, I'm repeating for the young people around the world. That's be connected with Aspire, be connected with Aspetar. That is leading institution who, thanks to all these different sport events, because don't forget that we are covering 52 international sport events for each year. We have huge experience, and with our final goal, it's this World Championship in football, that we are ready in this moment, because we passed by lots of sports, big sports events coverage, from World Championship in handball, from World Championship in track and field, and different football events that was organized here. Check, recheck, change to do it better. And that is the place to be for young people. That is the place for these people young people who have new ideas. Be connected, come to show us. Today you don't need to travel. You can utilize all these platforms to be connected. And I'm really excited what is going to stay after we here, you understand, because
Yes.
new generation is taking over.
Yes. Being connected and being ready. I think with the whole pandemic, we are all now ready to adopt new technology, no matter what industry you're in. And it's maybe becoming easy, and it's just proven that technology is going to be implemented in your daily life, whether you're ready or not. So you either keep up or you're going to be behind. I do want to open the floor. We do have a question for Ahmed. Ahmed, you mentioned, it says, Mr. Ahmed, you have mentioned data analysis in sports science. I would like to know how your organization is using data analysis techniques in managing QSL.
Okay, so first of all, of course, our target is to become a better league. So we have an agreement with Stats, which gives all the clubs, but also to the league, all the statistics of every single official match that we host. This gives us the opportunity of comparing, of course, between the different data of different players of different matches, giving the opportunity to the players to learn from their performance, to understand what their performance is, but especially also giving the coaching staff the necessary data to develop the players. Because of course, to have a better league, we need better players, and better players, we need coaches who develop those players. So with this data, they can work on their players, and this became more and more important because the coaches are more and more relying on any data to analyze not only the opponent but also their own team. The analysis of the opponent is of course very, very important. You have now even some people around the world in being part of a coaching staff who are specifically hired just to analyze the opponent and to analyze how his team can take an advantage of the weaknesses of the opponent. This is a very important component of development when it comes to achieving our technical objectives.
It sounds like when we first started to do our data analysis, we focused on at home and what our current team and athletes are doing. But very good point. Now that we have this under control, we are looking out to our opponents and bringing that comparison with what is happening here. This concludes our evening. Thank you, Ahmed. Sorry, go ahead. Did you want to say something?
Yes, we also provide all the teams with GPS vests to track the performance during the training live. So during the training live, they analyze the performance, the physical performance of their players. First of all, to prevent injuries, but also to see how much they're pushing themselves and how they can push themselves even more in accordance to the specific training session that has been planned by the coaching staff. This is also a huge step through innovation and technology, which hopefully will make us develop our players faster, to the world stage.
Yes, so now you have the ability to look into the physical, and the next one is mental and emotional intelligence, right? So technology that can even help you tell how they're feeling or emotionally, and if they're ready to be on the pitch on that day. So we have a lot of great things looking forward in the near future within sports tech. I want to thank you all for being with us today. Afra, Dr. Popovic, and Ahmed, we appreciate your time and really, really great looking into the insights within your industry as well as your entities. Thank you for that. To our audience, I hope you have enjoyed this discussion, and we invite you all to participate to take advantage of the Rawad Conference and its extensive learning and development opportunity. I would like to thank our partners for their unwavering support that has played a crucial role in Qatar Sports Tech's leading position today across the region and in development of the national sports tech industry. Thank you all for joining us, and good night.